And welcome to Quick Learn Sketch. This is my first video tutorial on how to use Sketch and how to learn it quickly. Before I start, I'll just give you a little background about me. My name is Tyler Wolf. I work as a product designer. I've been working in web design for a few years, and I've been working with Sketch for almost as long as it's existed. So I'm going to take this opportunity to teach you how to learn Sketch quickly. So I'm making this series of tutorials because I've been using Sketch for a long time, and I found a lot of tutorials out there. They're a little long. You get some story, to go along with the lesson, and it's just not the fastest way to learn things. So I decided I'm going to make my own. Meanwhile, I've seen other tutorials. People charge, up to $100 to learn this software, and the Sketch software itself only costs $100. So rather than charging you some high price for it, I'm just going to teach it for free. Another thing is people think it's harder to learn than it is. It's a new software package, and kind of the software that's used in the past, like some Adobe products like Photoshop and Illustrator, have been pretty hard to learn. Sketch is actually really easy to learn, and so I'm confident I can teach you how to use it as well as you need to very quickly. The format for this is going to be quick. Everything is about learning as quickly as possible. I'm going to go over the basics. I'm not going to drill down into a lot of detail on some of the concepts. Maybe in a later tutorial for more advanced techniques I'll talk about it. But for the earlier ones, we're just going to stick to how to get up, get running, and get things down on the canvas, on the artboard, excuse me. To learn even quicker, I encourage you to watch at a fast speed. You can, on YouTube, you can put the video up to 1.5 or even 2x, depending on how quickly you can listen. And I'm going to make these episodes short. I'm going to make the topics small and easy to find. So if you're looking for one specific thing, hopefully you can search it rather than having to watch through a 20-minute video before finding what you're looking for. So these episodes are going to teach the basics of Sketch, but to get really good, you're going to have to use it and, practice. So once you learn the techniques, try making something. Maybe you're already working on something, which is even better. And before you know it, you'll be an expert. Alright, before we dig in and start messing with Sketch, I'm just going to go over what Sketch is very quickly. It is a professional digital design software for Mac. It's lightweight, which means it doesn't slow your computer down significantly, but it's very fully featured. There's a lot you can do with it. So it's a vector design program, kind of like Illustrator, but it's got more functionality than that. It's what I would describe as the best software for web design. So that means you can do a little bit of photo editing, but I wouldn't call it a replacement for something like Photoshop. You can do a lot of vector design. You could get creative and probably do most of what Illustrator does with it, but there's some stuff that I would say Illustrator is still better for. But for the overall package of web design, this is the right tool for the job. I would say I haven't used any other design software for the past 6 months. Not to say that I wouldn't if I needed to, but this covers most of my use cases. If you don't have a copy, download the free trial so you can follow along with the tutorial. And if you really like it, of course, buy. I'm not affiliated with Sketch app or Bohemian Coding. I'm just teaching you how to use it. Alright, let's get started. So I'm going to open up Sketch. This is Sketch 3.6. Your opening interface may look different. Basically, we want to create a new document. So if the option is there on the screen, click on that. I'm going to click it right here. And here we are. This is it. I'm just going to turn this off. I'll explain that later. So this is the interface of Sketch. On the left here, you don't see anything here. I'll place a text box. I'll talk more about how this works later. There we go. You can see as I add these text layers on the left, they show up. I'll get into how we can use this, but basically you can turn off these layers and make them visible and not visible. You can do a lot more. Again, I'll get into it later. Up here on the top, this I would call the toolbar. This would be probably one of the more used sections of the toolbar for you. You have your vector, pencil, different shapes, text, some other stuff we'll get into later. Plus just a few other kind of quick links to common functionality up here on top, as well as zoom. On the right, you have what I would call the editor panel. And just a note, I'm coming up with these names here as we go because, to my knowledge, there's no official name for any of these sections. But this editing panel on the right, you'll find when you're clicked on a layer, it gives you all sorts of options like position, and you notice if I drag this around, that changes. Size, also changing as I grow or shrink objects. You can do other things, transform, flip. And then there's some context-specific stuff related to the layer you're looking at. So that's it for our introduction. Very simple, very short. And on the next episode, we're going to talk about shapes.